Hello everyone, welcome to ScorHigh. In a current affairs analysis series, today we will be discussing the topic Penicillin Revival to fight rheumatic fever. Now this was in news recently and we will be discussing it in depth. Now this particular topic will be useful for your GS paper 2 under the heading Health. Now let's see what is the news first. So in a bid to fight drug resistance and tackle the prevalence of rheumatic heart disease, the Government of India is planning a revival of the drug named penicillin. So government wants to revive penicillin in order to fight drug resistance and rheumatic heart disease. Now what is rheumatic heart disease? We'll be discussing later in the video. First let's read something about penicillin. So penicillin was the first antibiotic, this is important, that was discovered in 1928 by Alexander Fleming. It is still the first line antibiotic drug in many Western countries. This antibiotic was extensively used to treat American soldiers wounded in World War II. Now in India, it gradually went out of the markets because of unrealistic price control measures of the government. So it went out of India because of the unrealistic price control of the government. And the price of the drug were kept so low that the manufacturers stopped making the drug and penicillin went out of production, although some of its more expensive derivatives continued to be prescribed. So the prices were kept very low. Now, why is there a need of this particular drug? Now, India has a high burden of rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease, which generally goes undiagnosed. So it goes undiagnosed, this is important, and leads to many maternal deaths at the time of childbirth. Now, rheumatic fever, it is endemic in India and remains one of the major causes of cardiovascular disease, accounting for nearly 25 to 45% of acquired heart disease. Now, population-based studies indicate that the prevalence of rheumatic heart disease in India is at the rate of about 2 per 1000 population. Now this is a big number. It is 2 per 1000 population. Now the survey, however, conducted by ICMR at the school level indicate that the children in the age group of 5 to 16 years mark the overall prevalence at the rate of 6 per 1000 population. And according to the Health Ministry, rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease can be treated by the intake of penicillin. This is important. And penicillin is the cheapest option for rheumatic fever treatment. And that is why the government plans to revive the drug. As see the prevalence of number of deaths is that it is in the population 2 per 1000. So the government wants to revive the drug. Now about maternal death. According to World Health Organization, maternal death is the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy. Now this is irrespective of the duration. This is irrespective of the duration and the site of the pregnancy from any cause related to or aggravated by the pregnancy or its management, but not from accidental or incidental causes. About maternal mortality ratio. The maternal mortality ratio, that is MMR, is defined as the number of maternal deaths during a given time period per 1 lakh live births during the same time period. In India, the MMR was 130 per 1 lakh in 2016. This is important. Now we'll read about the rheumatic fever. It is an inflammatory disease that can develop as a complication of inadequately treated strep throat or scarlet fever. Now, rheumatic fever can cause permanent damage to the heart, including damaged heart valves and heart failure. And not all sore throats go on to become rheumatic fever with severe joint pain or affect the heart in a disease that eventually leaves no option but to replace the heart valves, a condition known as rheumatic heart disease. Now, rheumatic fever, it is most common in 5 to 15 years old children, though it can also develop in younger children and adults. Now, what is the cause? This is important. So rheumatic fever can occur after an infection of the throat with a bacterium called group A streptococcus. So there's an infection through the throat because of the bacterium group A streptococcus, and it leads to rheumatic fever. You need to remember this point. Now, group A streptococcus infections of the throat can cause strep throat or, less commonly, scarlet fever. And group A streptococcus infections of the skin or other parts of the body rarely trigger rheumatic fever. And so, the government is planning to procure penicillin centrally for 3 years. This is important, and administer it to all children between 5 to 15 years who have a sore throat at least once. Now, the drug will be dispensed through primary health centers or administered by accredited social health activists, that is ASHA workers. And the government is also in consultation with National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority to take it off from the price control list. And to kickstart the production again, the government will procure the medicine centrally for 3 years so that the manufacturers get encouraged to restart the production process. Now, this was all about the topic Penicillin Revival. Now, for other current affairs updates, you can visit our website, that is www.scorhigh.com, or you can even follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is score_high. That's all for today. We'll be meeting again with a new topic. Thank you so much.